Coming up on AgweekTV, we head to Washington, D.C. to the Farmers and Distillers restaurant. We meet with the chef to find out what makes this restaurant so popular already.
I'm Michelle Rook. What are the priorities for the new U.S. Secretary of Agriculture? I'll have this story here from the nation's capital.
We'll hear from Terry Wozzeck, one of the few farmers left in the North Dakota legislature.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Shawna Olson. Everyone in ag is keeping a close eye on Washington these days, wondering how the new administration's policies will affect their bottom line. Last week, I had the chance to talk to the new Ag Secretary, Sonny Perdue, and find out more about him. This week, we take a closer look at Perdue's priorities for agriculture. Michelle Rook was also in Washington and found out what goals the Secretary has for the agency and the industry.
As he starts in his new position as U.S. Ag Secretary, Sonny Perdue says his priorities for agriculture include trade, labor, and regulatory reform. On trade, Perdue wasted no time creating a new position as part of USDA reorganization and as directed in the 2014 Farm Bill.
Our plans are to have a deputy or an undersecretary for trade for USDA.
He says this position will be able to focus solely on opening export markets for U.S. products.
The Foreign Ag Service ought to get up every day. How can I sell more? Where can I sell more? Where can I go to trade these products?
An executive order also charges Perdue to chair an interagency task force on agriculture and rural prosperity. It focuses on regulatory reform with a report due in 180 days. He says this will build on the regulatory rollback started by the president and EPA.
He's already demonstrated a real understanding of the barriers that we've put out in our farms and fields all across this country, and we're committed to do even more.
The Secretary is also focused on labor and says the president wants immigration reform that benefits agriculture.
What he's after is the criminal element of illegal immigration. He understands they're dedicated farm workers out here who are immigrants who are sometimes milking cows 365 days a year, not just seasonal workers.
While these priorities are commendable, it's a tall task considering the Secretary must also build his team at USDA. In Washington, I'm Michelle Rook reporting for Ag Week.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture is forecasting yet another year of income declines for farm country with no immediate end in sight for low commodity prices. In 2017, USDA estimates that net farm income will drop to just $62 billion, which is half of what it was 4 years ago. National Farmers Union President Roger Johnson says such a big drop in income has created a crisis in the farm economy, and help is needed for the farmers and ranchers witnessing hard times.
They want a farm bill that's going to have a responsible, robust safety net that's going to kick in during these tough economic times that we're faced with right now. And if you mess up the trade relationships and you lose markets, all that does is drive our prices even lower and makes the economic difficulties that we're trying to deal with that much worse.
Johnson says National Farmers Union is working hard to confront the farm crisis, and the organization wants to help those who are in need during these tough times. A chain of restaurants in the Washington, D.C. area with a North Dakota flavor are very popular with tourists and locals. They were started by the North Dakota Farmers Union and 190 farmer and rancher investors a few years ago, and recently added another restaurant to their collection. Farmers and Distillers opened this past fall. It's the 5th farmer-owned restaurant in this group, with a plan of more on the way. I got a taste of one on my recent trip to D.C. Farmers and Distillers, located in Mount Vernon Square, pays homage to George Washington, one of the nation's founding fathers who was a farmer, distiller, and entrepreneur.
Our guiding principles was if George was to open up a restaurant today in 2017, what would George do? But we wanted to keep George still intact with sort of all the forward thinking that he had back in the day when he was doing what he was doing.
The decor and menu are all Washington inspired.
It's really foods for everyone. Such back then is really the land of the immigrants, so we have a lot of different French style of cooking, we have German style of cooking, we have American style of cooking, we have Italian style of cooking.
And just like Washington was a farmer first, the restaurant is farmer focused.
We try to stay with more of dealing with the farmer in general, try to cut out the middleman, and we really want to give the farmer more of a share of their take, because it's a better story for us to tell.
All the food is made from scratch at the restaurants, and again, we try our best to source every bit of it from U.S. family farms.
It features a fully functioning distillery called Founding Spirits that uses age-old techniques mixed with modern-day practices.
It's pretty unique. I think we're the only distillers in DC that have a restaurant.
Some of the products used to make the meals and drinks comes directly from North Dakota.
We are using state mill and elevator flour. We're getting some wheat for some vodka we're making out there.
They say the direct source food is more work, time, and expense, but it's unbeaten.
It's our field grain salad, pretty popular.
And that actually also gives us an opportunity to be able to provide our guests with the best quality spirit that they can get us, because we can be as picky as we want to by using the best ingredients that we get.
North Dakota Farmers Union President Mark Watney says the concept of farmer-owned restaurants is the first of its kind anywhere. The goal is to give the farmer a bigger piece of the pie, and he says that's exactly what they've been doing. Watney says soon they hope to have a monthly sugar truck hauling American Crystal sugar from North Dakota to D.C. He also says 2 more restaurants are in the works. You might be surprised how few farmers serve in the legislature of a farm state.
The window of opportunity in farming is short. Make sure your Case IH equipment is ready to make the most of it by using only genuine Case IH replacement parts from Titan Machinery. Only original Case IH parts are engineered for maximum life and performance in your equipment. Don't take chances with off-brand parts that may fail when you need your equipment the most. Contact your local Titan Machinery dealership and find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value for your farming operation.
When there's work to be done, the right equipment matters. Get it at your Work Gear HQ, home of economy. We are North Dakota's #1 source for Muck, Ariat, Rocky, Timberland, Keen, and Wolverine work boots. Soft and steel toe, pull on and lace up. You need them? We've got them at the guaranteed lowest price. Today and every day at your Work Gear HQ.
Home of economy, where your dollar buys more.
Introducing the new Challenger 1000 series, tractors unlike any other manufactured by AGCO. Redefining what a wheel tractor is capable of when it comes to wheel slip, power to ground, and fuel economy. Today, it's not enough just to be tough. You've got to be smarter than everyone else, too. Contact your Challenger dealer today to get in the seat of the new Challenger 1000. Superior engineering, superior performance, superior productivity. The next generation of tractors from your Challenger dealer.
AM 970 WDAY, North Dakota's oldest radio station, has added the Red River Farm Network to its lineup. Join veteran farm broadcaster Mike Hergert and the rest of the Red River Farm Network's team as they partner with AM 970 WDAY and Agweek to cover the area's #1 industry, agriculture. Join us Monday through Friday for Country Morning Today starting at 7 a.m., opening markets at 8:30, and market updates will run at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. Closing markets will run at 1:30 p.m. Tune in to AM 970 WDAY.
North Dakota State Senator Terry Wozzeck has served in the legislature for 25 years. Now he's one of the few farmers left in the Senate. And as Jenny Schlecht reports, Wozzeck still considers himself a farmer first and politician second.
Terry Wozzeck began his legislative career in 1992. Now, 25 years later, he's still at work in the Capitol and in the field.
I've always been proud to say I'm an American farmer. I think of myself a lot more so as a farmer than a politician.
Throughout his legislative career, Wozzeck has seen fewer and fewer farmers in the House and Senate. He says that makes it tough when it comes to ag issues. Talk a little bit about the importance of having a farmer in the legislature.
You know, you have to have somebody there who's passionate about it and who understands it and who lives that life to be able to share it effectively with the other legislators.
Wozzeck has been on the Appropriations Committee for the past 5 sessions. He says he's proudest of the 2011 session when the state had lots of oil money and he sponsored a $75 million rural infrastructure bill.
I convinced enough of my urban friends to vote and it passed. And I think some of the leadership was kind of shocked and surprised.
Wozzeck did lose one election in 2002 over voter concerns that Monsanto had paid him off to support GMO and biotech bills, a claim he says is untrue.
First of all, we'd have been the first state that would have had a negative law on the books towards a new and emerging technology. And secondly, let the industries decide, let sound science decide. Don't let political science decide, you know, is this good technology or isn't it?
Wozzeck says it's been a good run, but he's not sure whether he'll run again. How much longer do you see yourself staying active in politics?
Well, that's a good question. I'm struggling with it. There's part of me that says maybe it's time for me to start focusing on my grandkids and family and slowing down. But yet I struggle with ending it. I mean, it's been a great experience. And it may sound a bit corny in a way, but it really feels good when you know there's an issue that needs to be addressed and people are expecting or want you to help them, and you do.
Wozzeck says through good times and trying ones, his best tool has been humor. Near Jamestown, this is Jenny Schlecht for Ag Week.
Wozzeck's first taste of politics came in high school. As North Dakota's FFA star farmer, he was once seated next to Governor Art Link. He remembers being struck by how normal the governor was and became interested in lawmaking. Cool, rainy weather may be slowing down planting for some around the region. For this week's Crop Stop, Jonathan Knutson traveled to Brockett, North Dakota, where they're working hard to catch up.
Austin Sundin hasn't had a lot of sleep lately.
We haven't slept since Wednesday, should I put it like that?
But that's a good thing.
We've managed to put just about half the crop in just 4 or 5 day window. It's been a long week, and if we could just get a few more days would be pretty helpful.
Sundin says he needs another week and a half of dry weather to finish planting. But wet conditions are nothing new to him. He's battled them for most of the 10 years he's farmed.
We struggle in the spring just with water coming off of maybe a slough to another slough and our draws being wet and frost coming out of the side hills. It's kind of been a struggle for the last several years.
Modern equipment allows farmers to plant a lot of acres in a short window. That's happening on this North Dakota farm. For Ag Week, I'm Jonathan Knutson.
Is the right amount of rain falling in the right places? Your AgriWeather forecast is straight ahead. And later,
coming up on AgweekTV in the Soil Health Minute, we'll focus on residue from fall-seeded oat and barley cover crops.
My name is Carson, and I'm a 4th-generation corn farmer. The corn that's grown in North Dakota, you could probably trace all over the world. Back growing up, it was always hauled to the local elevator, and now we haul directly to an ethanol plant who processes that corn into a clean-burning fuel. The North Dakota ethanol industry uses over 150 million bushels of corn and returns $640 million to the state economy.
Taught him how to hit a baseball. how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
The Stockyards Ag Experience tells the story of agriculture, beginning with the Sioux Falls Stockyards. You'll learn about how agriculture impacts our region and the world, and the science and culture that make it all possible. The Stockyards Ag Experience barn features interactive exhibits in a renovated 1880s barn at Falls Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Stockyards Ag Experience showcases agriculture's story, from the farm to your table. For more information, call 332-1917 or visit us online at stockyardsagexperience.org.
Advanced biofuel for America's diesel engines is clean burning and made from renewable sources like soybean oil. Biodiesel fuel works in any diesel engine, reducing emissions, helping us breathe cleaner air. Biodiesel adds value to North Dakota soybeans, creating jobs, improving the environment, increasing our energy independence. Biodiesel, it starts with soybeans, it's fueling America.
Fascinating weather pattern the last few weeks. The drought monitor continues to show areas of shifting drought, and this wild weather pattern is actually not helping that situation that much. Of course, record heat at times the last few days in the eastern states, record snows for so late in the year in some of the Rocky Mountains, a lot of cold weather into the northern plains. You'll notice there is an area of expanding just the moderate levels of drought into the northern plains. The southeast is dry. California continues to be in pretty good shape. I want to kind of keep my eye on this area because there is some concern as we go through the rest of May that we may not get much moisture here, and we may still be a little bit dry in the northern plains come the 1st of June. We'll take a look. First of all, a little bit of rain around the area of the northern plains this weekend anyway. Will gradually move out of the region. The west coast area mostly quite dry, and except for the snow that fell last week, drier weather is moving into the Rocky Mountains. There will be several rounds of stormy weather the next few days coming out of the south central states up into the middle west and some sections of the northeast. Should remain mostly dry this week through the middle of the country. One little system toward the end of the week that'll be leading us into Memorial Day weekend may bring a little bit of rain, but it doesn't look like a big soaking system at all. Then as we move ahead into the second week, this will be the late May, early June, that little system kind of quickly fades away, and we go back to mostly dry weather. More rainy conditions for the east as another low-pressure trough builds, and the big dry spell along the west coast will be replaced by a new digging low-pressure trough, which will eventually kick out some moisture, but not very likely will that reach the northern plains area. Temperature-wise, we're, of course, very cool around the area this weekend. That'll gradually relax, and we'll get back to sort of near average weather this week, although it won't be consistently so. As the ridge builds up in the west, Montana, Alberta will be getting some early summer heat. Meanwhile, the cool temps will begin to build sort of back toward the northern plains, and the upper Midwest will go back and forth between mild and above average weather. This cool pocket will eventually move out, and as we head into early June, there will be some ridging, which I suspect will finally bring some consistently warmer weather into the northern plains. But by this time, my concern is that the soils will be just a little bit on the dry side, especially in North Dakota and South Dakota. Main storm track right now, setting up from the southern plains through the central and eastern parts of the Midwest and the northeastern states. That's where the repeat rains seem to be headed. Cool weather for the latter part of May overall into North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota. That will remain, I think. We may get some warmer weather in early June. And that whole scenario will likely leave the northern plains wanting for moisture as we start the summer months.
Premier Shortline USA is your dealer for Meridian storage and grain handling. 50 years ago, Meridian Manufacturing designed the first smooth wall hopper bin. This innovation set the standard for hopper bins across North America, completely self-cleaning with no obstructions. Smooth wall hopper bins have become the preferred choice for safe and efficient storage. For temporary grain storage to complete systems, contact Nate or Brent at Premier Shortline USA.
Located in the heart of the Red River Valley, Bloomfield Enterprises sells the finest trailers and farm equipment in the business. Family owned and operated since 1997, Bloomfield Enterprises is your place for BBI spreaders and accessories. We pride ourselves on carrying a wide variety of inventory for our customers to choose from. With a full-service shop and repair center, we are committed to taking care of our customers before and after the sale. Whether you're in the market for a new trailer or quality farm equipment, we have just what you're looking for. Call us today or visit us online at bloomfieldenterprises.com.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors and to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
The Ag Week Soil Health Minute is sponsored by the North Dakota Corn Council and the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Determining which cover crop to include in a mix can be challenging. On this Soil Health Minute, Abby Wick shows how fall-seeded oats and barley produce different results for residue in the spring.
Previously on the Soil Health Minute, we've talked about using cereal rye as a tool in your cover crop mix. Today we're going to talk more about some other options for cover crops, including oats and barley. In this field, we have a fall-seeded cover crop that included 32 pounds per acre oats. The reason we like to use oats are that you get a little bit less growth in the fall, and you get a really nice mellow residue to plant into the following spring. Oats are a good option to use a little bit extra moisture, but also oats will winter kill. So what's really nice about having a fall-seeded cover crop is that you really stimulate the soil microbes and also the earthworms later in the season. And so here we actually have a bunch of earthworm casts on the surface. And so this is a really great indication of a healthy soil and that there's a lot of activity in here. We're in another field now that had barley as a cover crop last fall at the same rate, again 32 pounds per acre. And you can see that the residue here is completely different from the oat field that we were just in. Much taller and much stiffer than the oats, and it grew a little bit longer than the oats did in the fall season. So again, we have another cover crop that will terminate with winter kill. And we also have, again, this really incredible earthworm activity that was occurring in this soil in the fall. Barley is an excellent choice as a fall-seeded cover crop, especially on salt-affected fields. So if you have salinity issues, following whatever crop you have with something like barley could really help use moisture and manage salts. We've looked at fall season cover crop mixes, including oats and barley. Those two, in addition to cereal rye, are excellent options for getting a cover crop in your rotation. When selecting the grass component of your cover crop mix, think about the type of residue you want in the spring and also the next crop in your rotation.
Still ahead on AgweekTV, we'll tell you about a plan to honor North Dakota's only U.S. Ag Secretary.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mix flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries Batco belt conveyors field loaders, which minimize damage and help protect grade quality and germination performance of seed. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Contact Chad today.
Adventure awaits at the Farmers Union Camp, presented by the North Dakota Farmers Union. Farmers Union Camp is the perfect place for young campers to develop cooperation, teamwork, and leadership skills. Campers will enjoy theme nights, skits, games, talent shows, and more. Camps are held at Wesley Acres and Hart Butte in June, July, and August. Register by May 15th to get $25 off your camp fee. For camp dates and more information, visit us at ndfu.org or call 800-366-8331.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
AM 970 WDAY, North Dakota's oldest radio station, has added the Red River Farm Network to its lineup. Join veteran farm broadcaster Mike Hergert and the rest of the Red River Farm Network's team as they partner with AM 970 WDAY and AgWeek to cover the area's #1 industry, agriculture. Join us Monday through Friday for Country Morning Today starting at 7 a.m., opening markets at 8:30, and market updates will run at 9:30, 10:30, and 11:30. Closing markets will run at 1:30 p.m. Tune in to AM 970 WDAY.
Where do you go for the latest news in agriculture? AgWeek Magazine. Reaching over 30,000 farmers and ranchers in North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Montana. AgWeek provides the most up-to-date information on the markets, the trends, and the people who make it all happen. We're your source for news, not fluff. Dependable, trusted. AgWeek. Subscribe today by calling 1-800-811-2580. North Dakota Congressman Kevin Cramer wants to honor former Governor and U.S. Secretary of Ag Ed Schaefer. Cramer sponsored a bill to rename a federal USDA lab in Fargo after Schaefer. The Red River Valley Agricultural Research Center in Fargo would become the Edward T. Schaefer Ag Research Center. The center coordinates the research of 5 units at 2 labs in Fargo, the Biosciences Research Lab and the Northern Crops Science Lab. Cramer thinks it's a great way to honor Schaefer.
His service as governor is notable, but then to become a member of a president's cabinet, to become the Secretary of Agriculture, North Dakota's #1 industry, to be recognized by President Bush for his expertise both in governing and his common sense and his leadership.
The House passed the bill this week. A companion bill in the Senate is also likely to pass with support of Senators John Hoeven and Heidi Heitkamp. This week's photo of the week comes from Carla Hiller. It's her nephew Trip bottle feeding a calf on their family farm near Crystal, North Dakota. He was so excited, it's the first thing he did when he got off the bus from school. If you want to see your photo on AgweekTV, email it along with a description to photos@agweek.com. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you next week.